work that in on the recruiting trail?
Well, I mean, I think from a stat perspective and from media coverage, when the only time you talk about a tight end is when they catch or drop a pass. They had 117 snaps of offensive play the other night, which is pretty good. We were flexed out quite a bit. Now, that being said, too, every time that Jeremy flexes in a slot, you take a great player like Jackson or Garrett or somebody off the field or Chris Olave. Now, sometimes with depth, you got to rotate around, but we have taken a lot of pride in the way that group has developed. Every senior that's played here is in the NFL or has played in the NFL. Rashad's active right now with the Patriots. Marcus Ball has been playing significantly for the Redskins. So prior to that, I think my background probably showed that we got tight ends in the NFL. And I think the best thing when you put the tape on and you look at our tight ends compared to some other tight ends, you see guys that actually block people and put their face on people. They're really good at the point of attack. They're really good backside. They're excellent in pass protection. And the other day, the ball got our way and we got, 6 catches and actually had 1 drop. Jeremy needed to be a little bit cleaner on another route, and we had another catch. So I was happy personally for them, but I'm proud of them. It's a good group. And Jeremy, all we do is we show tape. I had a great practice tape from 3 weeks ago that on a Zoom call, I showed a couple of recruits 39 clips of practice between blocking fundamentals, perimeter blocking fundamentals, pass pro, one-on-one routes, and the plays we threw to the tight end. And I showed I said, look, this is 39 plays specifically to training you. And I think it was very influential in some of these kids seeing how we develop the player. And Coach Marotti is the best at anyone developing those players too, Jeremy, which helps a ton.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll go next to Brendan Gulick from Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated. Brendan.
Hey, Kevin. Hey, Ryan and Kerry both talked a lot today about, really embracing the next man up because there's been injuries, obviously the unfortunate circumstance with Justin Hilliard this week. So I'm curious, even if it's not specifically within your tight end group, is there somebody on this offense that has really blown you away with their ability to put their ego aside and buy into, hey, I'm going to do what the team needs because the goal is to win games?
I think there's a lot. One, just from the commitment of the way these guys train year-round and what we've been through this year and dealing with COVID and trying to stay healthy, continue to develop physically as you're lifting and training on your own, and young players are missing spring practice and preseason time and how to develop and be where we need to be. You see a lot of these young receivers are playing. Not to be on a tight end deal, but I mean, you got a guy, where I might catch a lot of balls, a lot of guys will hit the portal. I'm watching the first 2 games. Jeremy Rutgers has had his physical blocking and is as good at knockout blocks as anyone on the whole offense. And here was a touted receiver who played flexed out, spread out, tight end as a high school guy. So in my room, I got a lot of respect for he and Luke Farrell and their time and effort. I think Coach Stell would tell you the same with those offensive linemen and the sacrifices that Josh and Wyatt and Thayer, that Thayer's been through coming through his injury. But the other night, Chris Olave gets a lot of tout the first play of the game. He makes the biggest block on the longest run of the day. And when your best receiver is making the best, maybe the most critical block, I think that says a lot just to the culture. So I think we've got a lot of guys that make those sacrifices, and I just got a lot of respect and appreciation for the talent, but the way they buy into the brotherhood of our program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next up, Patrick Murphy from 247 Sports. Patrick.
Hey, Kevin. You guys got Master going in the last game, at least statistically. Trace had a solid game, but not the same numbers. When you're looking at how you want to use those guys, how you want to get each guy going, have we seen that yet, or is it still kind of a work in progress how the 2 guys can get going, maybe in the same game, or are you still figuring that out?
I don't know if we're figuring it out. I think every game's maybe a little, different with the flow of the opportunity and how many plays you get or how long the drives go. And, the longer the drive, I think it was our 4th drive became a very long drive. And as the game went along, we had some longer drives. And so I think the longer the drive, the more the guys play within a drive. When you either go 3 and out or score quickly, maybe only one guy goes, then the defense goes, and then maybe the next guy goes next. And if you score, go 3 and out again, all of a sudden it seems like you haven't seen the guy for a quarter. If you have longer drives, those guys get in the game. So I think sometimes the game dictates that. I think Coach Jofford has a lot of confidence. I know when Coach Day and we're putting together calling, we don't change a lot of calls based on who the tailback is. A couple times the other night, hey, give me so-and-so, but give me Trey, give me Master. But, Steele had a good first game. Steele played as well as those guys the first 2 games. Didn't maybe have a lot of opportunity last game. I still think you keep seeing those 3 guys. And I don't think it's going to be a negative. I think the more they play, I think missing preseason, missing some of the contact, I think as they play through contact and get more confident, they'll continue to be more decisive, more assertive with their reads. They'll pick up more trash yards where 3s go to 5 because they're playing more velocity, more confidence, and they're seeing the schemes. So I think the more we go live, and right now a lot of the live stuff, there's a little bit of practice, but it's really the game. I think we play through that, and I think you saw them better game 2, and I think you'll see them better as we go into game 3 and keep building.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Colin Hass-Hill from 11 Warriors. Colin.
Kevin, I know this is it's a smaller play in the grand scheme of things, but I think you guys have called 4 quarterback sneaks in the last 2 games, and they've all been successful. And I know you called one in the opener against Nebraska on your side of the field. So I was wondering, from your guys' perspective as coaching staff, why are you so confident in that play to get those small little yards?
I think we're kind of picking the spots of where and when and the timing. I think those inside players are very strong and can definitely get off the ball and surge it. I think, because we run, I think some stretch plays and stuff, but it's kind of maybe hard for the defense to always get heavy internally because we'll go under center and the ball still gets stretched outside. So if they pack everyone inside. So I think it's maybe hard for the defense always to load it up. But Justin's good at it. He manages the snap. I think the hardest thing about the quarterback sneak is the snap because that center's firing off the ball, and especially when the shotgun so much, Justin is very comfortable under center. He manages the snap well, and you're going behind Josh and Wyatt and Harry and some strong guys. So I think a combination of a lot of things. The ball can get outside. We're good inside. Justin's, pretty good at it right now. We'll keep using it as we need it. And, we're not trying to be, smart. Those are still hits on the quarterback, so it's got to be smart when and how we do it.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll go next to Rob Aller from the Columbus Dispatch. Rob, you're up.
Mic check.
All right, looks like Rob's having some audio problems. We'll try Stephen Means, Cleveland.com. Stephen.
Hey, Kevin, just back on the recruiting thing a little bit. When you see, I know you guys can't have guys on campus, but to see guys take maybe an initiative and maybe, take their own steps and, making sure that they get all the information they need, even if they have to do things on their own. For you as a coach, when you see players take that initiative, just your thoughts on that.
One, it shows, one, you worry right now just with safety, with guys coming and traveling and the cross-pollination as they, come from different parts of the country. And if they're doing, right now we're urging our fans to watch games separately. So I know kids want to get on campus or see a campus. Right now, we had conversations with my youngest child last night about a couple schools he's looking at, and because his season now ended Friday night. Hey, you don't have school on Tuesday and Wednesday. Or Wednesday, Thursday? Where do you want to go? Do you want to go see a school? And so I think right now, and we're going to be dead in recruiting. Me as a coach, one, and then me as a parent, two. You're dead recruiting through December. There's an early signing period coming up. Some of these kids are 22 guys. They've got time. I think the old guys are just wanting to feel a part of the camaraderie and a part of the group, and they don't get to come to games like they used to, and they get these friendships going in the season. So I think they want to get together. We don't encourage that because we are leery of the spread of the virus. But with other guys that haven't been committed, I think guys just want to see a campus. They just want to get on campus and just see what it looks like. And of course, here the best thing is about being on campus is interacting with people. And right now we got to do it via the media or via the internet and Zoom and the FaceTime calls and all that stuff. So you don't get the face-to-face. That's the hard thing recruiting. But it's nice they want to get together. I think it's part of the things that kids are dealing with. Some of these kids feel like they're missing out on things, and we want to encourage them to do things, but we got to follow the rules and the guidelines, and we got to, more than anything, stay safe and take care of each other. So that's the way we're kind of embracing it with the kids when we're talking about those things that they want to see a place.
Thanks.
Next up, Bill Landis from The Athletic. Bill.
Hey, Kevin, what does it do for you guys when you can play with two tight ends as often as you do and play big, but not lose your ability to throw the ball down the field when you are playing big?
Yeah, and some of that, those guys get out there in the pass game. A lot of times they're involved in protection, so you can max up some things, heavy play action, move the pocket with some of the play actions. The other night, the big guys in the field, but we're hitting some of the receivers in the flat with some of the nakeds and bootlegs that we do. It's just and it's nice to have receivers that you can put in the game and still block. So it's nice to play small and run the ball, and it's nice to go big and throw the ball, because to me that's when you have balance. You don't get zeroed in. This personnel grouping's on the field, they never throw the ball. This personnel group's on the field, they always throw the ball. So I think the more we keep having balance, that's why we keep challenging our young receivers to continue to embrace the knowledge of not just being a great receiver, but playing without the ball and playing for your brother and being a great blocker. And I think the more our guys buy into that, the more diverse we get, the more guys get touches, the more guys get on the field. Bill, I think the harder it is to defend someone.
Thanks.
All right, next up, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch. Bill.
Yeah, Kevin, I was hoping you could give assessments of the two new guys in the offensive line, Harry Miller and Nick. What do you think of how they've played so far?
Very, very encouraged. They're very talented players. They're young. They're very, very smart men. I mean, they're very intelligent guys. Not to get into Harry's Russian literature thoughts, but they're very, very smart guys. I really appreciate the way Harry, from game 1 to game 2, probably made as much improvement as anyone on our offense. I think, again, like we're talking about those running backs, I think the more you play, the more comfortable you get, the more confident you get. I thought he really held his own. And we were playing, I thought, a strong front. Looking at the first game of Penn State's defense, I thought they created a lot of havoc up front. And then to go into that game and Nick handling the edge, I think Penn State actually moved number 18, Shaka, over to his side, I think, and thought they might get pick on him. And Nick held his own, had no pressure. So very impressed with Nick and the way he's grown and matured, and really great to see Harry get off to a good start and really make take a pretty good first drive, but really play really well against a great opponent. And it's unfortunate the fans weren't there, because that would have been much, much more challenging for the offensive line with crowd noise and snap count and communication. So in some ways we played a great opponent. We got a little bit of a pass with crowd noise, but other than that, very, very proud of those two guys. And they're playing as good as the vets right now. They're holding their own, a big part of what we're doing.
Do you expect Luke Farrell to be back soon?
Yes. He just had a gash. He actually came back and played in the game. He played the last 2 series. He was back Saturday. So he practiced. He's practiced. We'll be smart with him. Just we don't need it to continue. It needs to get on track to heal properly. But he'll get padded up. And did everything we did in our practice yesterday. Looks good. Actually went Sunday as well. So he's fine.
Thanks, Kevin.
Next to Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com. Nathan.
I just wanted to expound on Nicholas Petit-Frere. What's your favorite thing that he's bringing to this team right now?
One, he's just playing consistent. He's practicing well. He's very much matured. I think he's a young guy with a lot of hype. And I know around here you get so many stars, and you think everybody's going to walk in and be a primo player day one. I think Josh Myers and Wyatt Davis play offensive line about as good as most people in the country. And I think 5-star type recruits or high 4s, whatever they were based on the service, they really don't play year 1 and play minimal year 2. I think Nick's the same way. He comes in really rated high. Everything should walk in and play offensive tackle day 1. It takes a lot of time to all the communication, the calls, the techniques, the speed of the game, the mismatch. The defensive end against the offensive tackle is one of the biggest mismatches as far as skill set. And so for those guys to get comfortable and develop, so I just appreciate the way he's developed. He's found a much better way of working with Coach Mick and Kayla to eat properly and get his weight to where it needs to be. He was I wish I was on his diet his first couple of years, because he could be on a 5-pound weight gain and lose 5. I'm the opposite of that. I gained 5. So, but he's gotten his weight where it needs to be. Very smart. He's smart enough that now he's, I think, learning how to think where he's not overcomplicating the game. He's starting to play with confidence. He's got a little look in his eye that was time to play. He flips a little switch, and he's got that little look of a guy that likes to get after it. So I've been impressed with the start he's been off to.
All right, we'll go next to Tim May from Letterman Road. Tim.
Thank you very much, Mike. Kevin, when you watch Garrett Wilson play, for example, on the jet the other night, you would think a lot of receivers would rather take it all the way out to the edge and cut it up. He's got that little cut to him and stuff, which means he's got a little daring, whatever you want to call it, guts. I mean, what do you just see? What do you see about him that really excites you in that regard of the game? And do you notice those kind of things about a back before, or about a wide receiver before you put him in that position, so to speak?
Well, I think there are some, a good point there. I think there are some guys that are a little bit more comfortable running in high traffic areas or running through trash, where some guys are maybe a little more tentative or timid. You can see a lot of time on the jailbreak screen. Some guys are just a little bit more comfortable. You know, you might be fast, but you don't play fast in traffic. I see right now you're driving with your sunglasses on, so I know you're zigzagging in and out as you're going up and down the interstate right here. So be careful out there now, okay? And all as you're driving there, Tim, be careful.
I will.
But, you know, he had to go inside the other night because their defense at the edge. Jeremy actually did a nice job on that play of stretching and creating some space where then Garrett could put his toe to the ground, get back inside. Then he got back outside of Chris's block, so he ran it perfectly. It was blocked reasonably well at the point of attack, but he ran it perfectly. And as you do it sometimes, again, a lot of guys have playbooks. And you can say run this play, but at the end of the day, Tim, some guys run some plays well. Garrett has a knack of running that play well, or like you say, putting his toe on the ground and not afraid to stick it up in there. And that being said, I think his coaches, Coach Day and Coach Hartline, the guys like that, they're deciding who gets what touches. Those you just play to the strength of the player. Garrett has the ability to and the confidence to do that in his running ability.
Thanks, man.
We got time for two more. We'll go with first we'll go with Tony Gerdeman and then with Joey Kaufman. Tony, you're up.
Kevin, as a play caller and a coordinator, given everything that Justin Fields can do, how much of a challenge is it for you to make sure that you maximize and use everything he can do and don't just rely on maybe what has worked in the past?
Well, I think, first of all, I think Coach Day and Coach Dennis will do a great job continuing to enhance and develop his skill set in the pocket and throwing. He can always extend plays and run plays. I think sometimes when you're putting the offense together and in calling the games, I think you're just trying to be smart with, making sure you're taking care of him. So like the other night, we're doing some things in protection. We're trying to chip the edges and help our tackles with our tight ends. A couple times where running backs are trying to help, not only responsible for a blitz, but also trying to help that tackle so that pocket stays clean, your quarterback stays upright. We got him sacked twice tonight, and really we only have one communication issue that led to the last sack we had, where we didn't get it identified properly between Justin and the O-line. So I think the key thing is maybe not trying to be, to me, if you, I've been a part of sport too, you have a great player and you start worrying about the great player getting stats. When you start worrying about a great player getting stats, you forget what you need to do to win the game. And that's, you play physical, you take care of the ball, you take care of the quarterback, you score touchdowns in the scoring zone, you're great in conversions. So we got to play to Justin's strength, and Coach Day is brilliant, and Corey with how they'll develop him and play his strengths, but we got to play to what's best for the offense to win the game. And every week it's hard to win the game, and I think the key thing we got to come back to is everything we're doing is making sure, as talented as all these individuals are, and the question earlier is, how about the guys that make the sacrifices? Everyone's making the ultimate sacrifice, and even as coaches do what's right to win the game. And if we keep winning the game, the season will go the way we'd like it to go, and I think then individually, a lot of those individuals will get what they want at the end. But right now, I think we got to keep putting it together and what's best to attack the situation, attack the defense, the scoring situation, the score zone, the down and distance, minimize risk and reward for your quarterback, but do what it takes to play high-end football, great offense, and win the game.
Thank you.
All right, and last question for today, we'll go to Joey Kaufman from the Columbus Dispatch. Joey.
Kevin, when Wyatt opted back in for this season, what was the biggest, what would you say would be the biggest impact he gave for your offense? It's kind of maybe harder for us to evaluate O-lineman, but what's the biggest effect that he had on coming back and for you guys collectively?
Yeah, great question, because one, he's a great player, so he's a great player back, but internally he's kind of, especially for the big guy, he's one of the juice guys of the offense. He plays very hard, he plays very tough, but he brings a little bit of energy. He brings a little bit of voice. He's a guy that when he talks, and not that he's a guy in the game that's out there talking smack to the opponent, but when it's time to stand in front of our team and talk as a player and as a coach, you appreciate what that guy's saying and the value it has on the team. He's one of the best verbalizers on our team and standing in front of our team and articulating the way we want to play, how we want to play. So I just think he brings a great voice. and a voice that people listen to. Because when he talks, our guys listen, and he brings a lot. He brings a lot of fire and energy to his play. He brings a lot of passion with his energy when he talks to our football team. I think it has a huge impact.
Coach Wilson, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate it.
Hey guys, be safe, go Bucks, and tell Tim May to drive careful, please.
I will, man.